Today on Jeff Does What, I'm going to show you the Creality Falcon2 Pro Edition with their fully enclosed diode laser unit. Coming right at you. Now what we have here is the Creality Falcon2 Pro Edition, which comes with your 40 watt diode, 22 watt diode, or this 1.8 watt. Now with all these things, your 22 watt and your 40 watt, it's the power of the powerhouse of this, where you're going to be able to cut through just about any wood or acrylics you're going to want to do, with the exception of clear acrylic, but there are ways around that. And then you got this right here. This right here, whenever you want to get real intricate, real high detailed, we have this 1.8 watt right here. And what this is going to do, it has this one of the smallest laser points you can get on the market today, which means you can get that high-end detail. Now this laser operates at a wavelength of 455. Like I said, the wavelength ensures optimal performance for cutting through materials like wood up to 15 millimeters in a single pass. That 40 watt does not play around. And then you also got the impressive speed of 25,000 millimeters per minute. Like I said, this rapid speed on a diode is extremely quick. We're talking 254 DPI, sharp, clear results. The working area we have is 400 by 415, so you can get pretty decent sized material in here as well. And with that material, we're talking wood, bamboo, cardboard, rubber, leather, paper, felt, acrylic, plastic, and some fabrics as well. Now, right offhand, you got to notice this nice enclosure we have, like this, and it is vented as well, which definitely helps keep them fumes and everything where we can displace them exactly where we need to get. And apparently, also, whenever you open or shut this, it does automatically come on. Now, fume extraction has been one of the biggest problems of diode lasers. Most are open gantries that produce lots of smoke, lots of soot, and it is just throwing it out into the air that you breathe. As you know, like I said, I've been working more and more towards helping keep dust and smoke out of this shop with some of my recent add-ons from my other videos. And this right here is a clear example of what we are working towards, trying to get a cleaner area for me, our employees, our family, whoever's in my shop whenever we are out here working. Now with this air port coming out here, we can actually plug this into an air purifier. Right now I do have it just vented outside my shop through a hole we have drilled through here. But you can actually, Creality does have an air purifier where you can plug this in if you're into, say, an interior room of your house where it has charcoal filters and all that to help take out that chemical in the air that you don't want to be breathing. Hopefully I can get one of them here in the shop as well, so I can test it out and let you know the results of that. Now, along with them helping out with the smoke getting out of the shop, we also have this cover on here, which is going to block that light that laser produces, which can in return hurt your eyes and cause you to go blind if you stare at it long enough, right? And this right here is definitely going to help. It's like it's always wearing your safety glasses. And just so you know, you can't run this with this open. It has sensors built in, so if this unit is open, it will pause or not let you start your engraving. And of course, with some added features, of course, it's got the lights let you know if your air's on, if there's a fire detection going, or if your lens is dirty. And with this unit being enclosed like it is now, Creality did put in a camera right up here at the top. So through Lightburn, you can actually, with the help of this card right here, get that camera all lined up. So whenever you're messing around in Lightburn and you want to see exactly where your piece is in there, you can position it throughout that camera. And with this being a dark enclosure, light can be a problem as well. So this whole front right up here does have a light bar in it now. So it illuminates everything that is off in there, helping that camera out in the process. Because the more light you have, the better you can see, the better everything just works out. So as we look at our unit, there is our camera right up there. We have it in Lightburn where it will show you what is going on. And once we capture it, it does show up off in the program as well. So we're able to put our piece exactly where we want it, and in the process, move our logo or whatever it is we're working on to burn in that exact location. Now with this camera, you do have to program it. Like I said, it will make you take 9 capture images throughout the image to make sure everything is lined up, because it wants you to have the best outcome as well in there. That process takes about 2 to 3 minutes. It's real simple. And Creality does have software that shows you how to do everything step by step, which takes no time at all. Now, just like the regular Falcon 2, we do still have the air compressor. It hooks up the same way. You're still able to control your volume right there. It plugs in just like the other one. So as far as that, nothing has changed there. And while I'm thinking about it, that camera will also help you do batch items as well. Say, for instance, I do a lot of candle lids for Oshoi candles. So I can go through and place each candle lid in there and line it up with the camera in the program, and it will go through and engrave each lid. That way I know everything's lined up. It's not off to one side. I'm not having to constantly make sure my jig's lined up, because jigs can get out of alignment real easy in these diodes, especially when it's not fully, well, on the whole honeycombs, they're not fully secure. With the rail system they have in this one, definitely helps out, but still, them rails do have a little bit of movement front to back. So it can cause your alignment to get off a little bit if you're trying to use the same jig over and over and over. Once you got it lined up, generally it's not an issue, but it can be. But with that camera, that helps eliminate that, so I can just set whatever piece in there and place exactly where I need to, thus cutting down time. I'm not having to sit there and line up a jig. And once I set my item in there, move everything over, I can hit start and it's burning within a few minutes instead of spending 10 minutes trying to make sure everything's lined up before I start trying to batch this stuff out. Now, as we get ready to unbox this Falcon 2 Pro, this is an extremely heavy box, and I do recommend having a second person when you're sitting up on a counter or something, because it was just me by myself. Brandon and I got it, but this is something to think of, because there's a lot off in here. Because you gotta think, this is a full enclosed engraver. And we have lots of heavy parts such as this tray. We got exhaust ducting, cables, air hose. The heart of this 40-watt diode laser. Love their 40-watt diode. Ooh. We also have this 1.6 watt diode as well. So this right here is what you're going to be using when you're doing that nice intricate engraving. Wasn't expecting that to come with the unit. I'm glad it did. I did see it on their pre-order goggles, but luckily with this, we won't actually need these. Tools, we got our air pump, power supply, few cutting materials, manual, and of course the base to our laser. And we also got a few other parts in here. We got our bed, some exhaust fan, a few other things. Let me get all this the rest of the way in the box, and I'll be right back with you. Now we have all of our parts all laid out. We got to start identifying what is what. Now, first things you got to find are these brackets. It'll show you what's your fan and your light. That way you know which goes on which side, because that does play an important role as far as all your wiring goes. You're gonna make sure you get it right from the get-go. Next piece we're gonna look for is our crossbar with our camera. So essentially this is gonna have your camera USB port on your light side. Of course, it says camera USB, and this is going to screw in to this right here, and then your other piece is going to screw in right back over here. So now we got our main top of our frame. We're going to flip this over, and we're going to get one of these red sheets right here, and this is essentially going to slide and be real careful with it. Essentially it's going to slide in on this back track back here. It is a little harder than I thought it was going to be. So I'm gonna get another hand to help me with this, and I'll be right back with y'all. Now, as you go to install this, a second hand will make this a lot easier, and also make sure to have this rear bar available as well, because this wants to keep popping inside and out of the track extremely easy. It is just a thin piece of material, so a second hand and have this bar handy. That way you can get your screws in on this to help hold this in place, because I fought this for a few minutes before I finally managed to get everything in here, but it's already coming together. Now for our next part, we got the front to install, and like I said, it installs a lot easier than other. So this is going to slide into that track. And like I said, this has these bars on here to make this rigid, so you don't have to worry about stuff popping out. As you are sliding it on. Now, once you get to this point, you might have to help it a little bit. And there's these little rods on here. It's hard to see way away from the camera. I'll try to zoom in or get a better picture of it for you. But that's why I'm trying to get into the groove right now. But now we have that on there. Only thing left to do on this is to screw our light and fan switch on right up here. Now before we move any further with our top, we're actually going to come through and install our 40-watt laser right now. And also, while we're doing this, we're going to connect our air line. We got this cable right here that's going to plug right into there. So we'll put this behind the clips. And carefully install this plug. And just because they're there, we'll use these ties to help hold these cables there. Now this right here, this spot is where you'll disconnect and connect to your other laser right in this box. Let me get close with that for you. As you see, has this little pin and it will just plug in right into there. Now, a lot of lasers, they have honeycombs. Well, this is more like our bigger CO2 lasers we have in the shop, where we got these little metal rails that will end up sliding into place inside here. And so we'll take all these, get them all installed. You'll just evenly space them however you want, depending on what you're running in here, how far you want the spacing apart. If you want it real far apart, or if you want them close together, you place them where you want. As you see, our rail system's all installed. Like I said, I might change this. Like I said, it's real easy to remove these. I pretty much set it close how I have my big CO2 set up. Let's keep pushing forward. Now the next part for this, we got our side pieces and our top. So we'll get this all lined up, screwed together with the last few bit of screws, and then the main part of this is done. As you're putting this together, be sure to watch out for little notches to make sure you get this in the right place for your switches, because you don't want to get this all put together or halfway put together and realize, hey, I got to undo all this because my switch isn't going to fit up there. Now after we got our top all mounted in here, we come in here, there's two plugs, one right there and one right there that you have to plug in. It's going to be for your fan, and that's going to be for your lights and camera and all the other jazz on top of that enclosure. Now we only have two things left to do on this, and one is install our ductwork. So we'll put our clamp on this hose, slide this onto there, move our clamp where it's on there good. Now this, you can either run this into a dust extractor, you can run it into another fan to be ported out. Either way you want this, where the end result is it is exiting your shop or into a fume extractor. Other than that, last thing we have to do, come up front up here, plug in our air hose, plug in our air hose to our air pump, and then we connect our air pump right there. And this unit is fully put together now. Only thing left we got to do is install our software, which you already know I got Lightburn installed. There's no difference between this and the other Creality Falcon 2 I have here in the shop, which is also pushing that nice 40-watt diode on there. Let's get in and testing this thing out. Let's do a quick little line engraving. So what we're doing right now, I got a Attack on Titan logo on there, and we have our camera going on over here. Just to show you, you can monitor this. And like I said, if you had other screens, you can sit there and place that on there and make that huge so you can watch what you're doing as it's engraving. Now with this unit, like I said, we can still see what we're doing on here somewhat, but if we wanted to, say, put our camera inside there, as soon as we open that up, it stops. We'll hit play again, and it's back to going. So that's just showing off some more of the safety features. And just look at how fast it is engraving that. And like I said, this right here, we do have the 40-watt on there right now. And we are just doing a line engraving. And it is actually going pretty deep off into that. I probably could even lighten up on my power a little bit. I was using my old settings from my last Falcon 2, and apparently, like I said, this one looks to be engraving or cutting a little bit deeper on my line engravings. But that's all in my settings. Like I said, we're just testing out this unit to see what all we can get this 40-watt to do before we jump over into this right here. This is what I'm most excited about. I want to see how much detail I can get with this 1.6 watt. As you see with the line art, it had no issues with that. Let's crank up the power on this 40-watt and do an actual cutout and see how well that turns out. So we're gonna kick off with this cool little geometrical pattern that I found, and let us do it the same. Now, another one of these features I haven't mentioned was this pull-out drawer, where that part we just ran, a lot of these pieces just fell off into the bottom. There's still a few stuck in there, but they're falling out. As you see, we can get real detailed as far as cutting out with that 40 watt. This 1/4 inch right here, we knew it'd have no issue. Take them. One piece stuck. There we go. And there we have it. Let's get this changed over. Well, let's get this changed over. Let's compare this 40 watt and this 1.6 watt on some hand-drawn art. So we've actually ran through both of the lenses we have. So this right here is through the 1.6 and this is through the 40 watt. And see, both come out pretty good. This one actually does have a lot more detail. The lines aren't near as blurred. This one right here, my power is it's too hot. I do have my power turned down quite a bit, but it's still too hot and we're losing a lot of the detail, where I probably could even crank up my power on this one a little bit. Turn that fan off. I probably crank up my power a little bit, but the lineage is just nice, crisp, clear. Where over here, we do get some blurring of it just due to the fact the way everything comes out on there. Now, like I said, from away, it's hard to tell the difference because, like I said, that darker does make that show up better. but the lines just aren't as crisp as something like this. So what we have here is a piece of 10mm thick acrylic that I found in the shop from previous tests. We're gonna shut our lid down and hit start. As you see, I actually got off a little bit from when I set my piece in there. I should have framed it out, but that little bit won't bother because we'll still be able to see how thick it actually cut it once we finish this cut. And as you see, it cut all the way through. Like I said, the only spot that's holding on is right there where I did not start this exactly where it should have. And for our last test, we're going to try out some thicker wood. It's like I said, it's about 12mm, because that's about 10. So get this loaded up. Raise our laser up. So the only thing I don't like about this is this block. And let me move y'all again so y'all can see this in real time. And we set off the fire sensor. So apparently it is not liking that wood. So hold on one second. Let me get this all reset. So we're reset from the fire sensor going off. Let's try this again. And there we have it. One pass, 12mm thick plywood. Now with this Creality Falcon2 Pro, like I said, I'm definitely loving the camera. I love that it's enclosed. That right there, them two features just make this unit so nice to have. And with that, it's stuff like the light inside and the little safety features, all big pluses on there. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to keep playing with this machine, learning it more and more. Like I said, for the base part, as far as cutting, heck, I know how it's going to do. Like I said, I still use the original Falcon 2 all the time in the shop. I'm more interested in getting this little thing dialed in. This 1.6 right here will be tremendous help on getting some high detailed images. And being that I have it in that enclosure, gonna love it that much more. Now, if you want to see more of the Creality Falcon2 Pro, be sure to hit that subscribe button. That way, here in about 2 to 3 weeks, once we get this machine all dialed in, how we're liking it, I'm going to do a deep dive and do several money-making projects to show you how I make money with this through Texas Laser Works. And if you have any questions about this unit, anything at all that crosses your mind, something you want me to do, something you want to know more about it, comment below definitely helps me out. That way I can pinpoint and hopefully answer your questions exactly what you're needing. Because, heck, if I don't know what the problem is or issue you are having, I can't help you out. So comment below. Thank y'all for watching. Hope y'all enjoy this. As always, y'all take it easy.